Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you here and very honored to be with you in this event. Okay, so I'm a bit in a tough situation because I'm trying to explain a technical thing that is very technical in oil and gas, so I'll try my best to be as easy as possible. But the main objective here is to show you what we're doing, but as well at the same time, where are other opportunities for other companies that they can really help us to go to the next level in AI that we can use with our services. So before I start, let me give you a bit of introduction of who are we first. So Arabian Drilling is a company that was established in 1964. So this year is our 60th year anniversary. It was funded by two companies, TAQA and SLB, used to be known by Schlumberger. So two companies are technology service providers in the oil and gas services. And we have 6,000 employees, or more than 6,000 employees. These 6,000 employees, they work on the rigs, be it land or offshore. And we provide the service to the rigs to our clients. So in Saudi Arabia, we pass it to Saudi Aramco. In 2022, we went IPO'd, and what happened is, of course, TAQA and Schlumberger, once they went 30%, that was listed. And proudly to say, in 2022, there was 51 companies that went IPO, and we were ranked number 1 IPO in 2022. Now, I can dive into AI and what do we do, but you really need to understand what do we do actually before we jump in. So, as I said, we have land rigs and we have offshore rigs. So I'm going to show you a 30-second video that will make you an expert in drilling, and then you are more than welcome to be recruited and you start drilling for us as well. So, rigs, you have land, you have offshore. The land, as you see, too much moving parts that you need to mobilize from one side to the other. And then once you have the rig there, you start drilling the well. And as you can see, you have a vertical well, you have a horizontal well, and you can have all what's in between. Once the well is drilled, you put a pipe that we call casing, and you have cement on the side, and we call it you completed the well. Once the well is completed, it goes, you can produce oil, water, or gas, depending on what's the objective of drilling the well. Now, everything down has a lot of challenges. It's a 30-second of drilling a well, but usually it takes 3 months to 4 months or even longer, depending the harsh environment, what's the trajectory, what's the objective, how deep, what different formations. And it costs tens of millions of dollars. And with this, a lot of challenges happen. A lot of problems are faced during that. So what I'm going to tell you first is, what are the pain points that we face where we want AI to help us? So there is I'm choosing 4 main pain points. One is the unplanned events. Just to give you an example, while drilling the well, you get stuck. And this is very common. And this costs millions of dollars as well, where you try to get unstuck, and it takes time, and it's non-productive. So you want AI to try to predict. Other cases, I don't know if you're aware of Macondo. It's an event that happened in the Gulf of Mexico, where the well was out of control. The client lost a lot of billions of dollars. There was an environmental spill, a lot of loss of reputation, and as well, last but not least, something that you cannot put a dollar on is life of people. And there was a movie about it called Deepwater Horizon. It's a very good movie. It gives you a bit of perspective. If things go wrong on the rig, things can go really south. Of course, sustainability as well, there is a lot to work on sustainability. Now, in my case today, one thing that is very hot in my agenda, and everyone who works in oil and gas, is the safety part. So I'm going to go deep dive on safety and what are we doing in Arabian Drilling different from other companies in AI. So what we started is we've seen a lot of incidents in our operation. And these incidents are done because people take shortcuts. If they do the procedures as it is, you won't have any safety issue. And usually, we have cameras on the rigs. And what we do is we analyze and investigate the incidents after the incident, post-incident. You go to the cameras, you see what happened, you understand if it's a service quality issue or if it's a safety incident. But it's too late. So what we did is we took the analogy of the speed cameras that we created in Saudi, and it was reported that death rates have reduced 37% just by installing a speed camera. So we used the same analogy, saying, okay, let's utilize our cameras, we monitor the cameras while we're operating, and how we can identify the risk before it happens. Not to mention, when employees know that they're being watched, then they are carefully more in terms of how they do the work. So what we did is we created the center, and we streamline all of the videos to the center. And you have experts in the center who watch what's happening on the rig. And whenever they catch a certain incident, not an incident, an observation that something can go wrong. Doesn't mean there was an incident, but you're just trying to avoid the incident. And we have seen hundreds of observations that we, I think, managed to reduce the safety records. And what we've seen, the behavior of people have changed. Just like driving. The behavior changed when people realized there was a camera that is going to see you and take a picture of you when you're overspeeding. And that's why we called it the Behavior Empowerment Center. Now, the challenge that we have here that I'm throwing at you is I have 50 rigs today. Out of the 50 rigs, each rig has 16 cameras. Today, I'm streamlining only 14, but I need to streamline the whole 50 rigs. I'm adding another 10 rigs, so I'll have 60 rigs. That means I have more than 1,000 cameras. And today, it's a human base. As much as I say we improved, it's still human-based. And I cannot have hundreds of people sitting in front of a screen to catch up any observation. It has to be driven by AI. AI will help us streamline all of the things that's happening on the rig and identify what's going wrong. So what are we looking at? So today, you see those 3 guys are working on the rig. Today, AI can identify the individuals. It will tell you they're wearing their safety glasses, they have their hard hat, they have the gloves, which is fine. But we need to step the notch. We need to make sure, for example, if an employee puts his hand in a certain place, AI will identify if it's safe or not. Because once you're doing certain activities, it might be safe. Other activities in the same spot might not be safe. And we want AI to identify this before the incident happens. And this is what we call risk identification. It identifies the risk and raises an alarm, and we call it a digital stop work authority. So this is the first thing that we wanted to do. The second thing is risk profiling, and a lot of people maybe don't like this, personal profiling word. But what we're trying to see, 2 things out of this. We want AI to identify the person as me, Ghassan, on the rig. And if Ghassan is really doing his job the way it should, that is in the risk. But what we're trying to do here is we want AI to identify Ghassan is doing a certain task. It goes to the HR department, pulls the data, and realizes that Ghassan is actually certified to do the job or not. Or maybe not just certified. Ghassan is certified, but this typical operation needs 2 people. Ghassan cannot do it alone. We need another person. And AI will identify from HR who's in the crew is the right person to help Ghassan continue to do the task. This is one. Number 2, in our oil and gas, usually I come to the rig, I work for 1 month, 12-hour hitch, and then I go back home off for 1 month. So after I finish my hitch, what I want is I go to AI and I make a dump on my activity, and I want AI to tell me how did I perform. Did I perform to the level that is expected? Am I with par with my colleagues? Is there place to improve? Am I acting always safe? So this is, you can analyze yourself by AI and try to improve your situation at work and how you can improve. Now the third thing is accelerating best practices. Now you might ask, Hassan, this is not about safety, but I'll cover the safety aspect about it. But what happens today is we operate on a rig. We pay millions of dollars. And we have 3 rigs doing the same kind of activity, same type of well, same depth. But what we realize after 3 years down the road, that rig number 1 was better than rig 2 and 3. But we never know why, because we're not monitoring it. But if AI, digitally in the cameras, analyzing what's happening, I don't have to wait for 3 years, number 1. Number 2, it tells you why rig 1 is doing better, in which spot, what type of activity, what type of task that's been more efficient to make sure that rig 1 was doing better than rig 2 and rig 3. Now, from the safety aspect, so I just give you an example. Today, when we drill a well, we have to connect pipes. So you bring pipe 1, you connect, you run in hole. You connect the 3rd pipe and a 4th pipe, and so on. And when you finish, you have to pull the pipe out sometimes. For the sake of argument, let's say connecting a pipe takes 2 minutes. You saw the people, the 3 guys who were working before, right? They have to connect, they come, they put the tongues together, they connect. So let's say it takes 2 minutes. If you look at the thousands of connections that we do on the rig, it takes almost a full month. If you just take the connection time on a rig, it takes more than a month of time of just doing pipe connection. So if I can reduce the 2 minutes to 1 minute by being more efficient, what will happen is I will save 15 days of cost to my client. So what does that mean from a safety aspect? That means I have prevented my team to be on the rig for 15 days that could have been an exposure of an incident. So it reduces the exposure of being in an unsafe act as well. Now the 4th thing that really I think this is something will be a game changer. As I said, I leave my home, I go to the rig, and I spend a full month. And it's not me, it's another 50 guys who are the rig crew, and there is other crews from other companies who come to the rig and we work all together. The challenge that I personally see today is I am a human being. I have feelings, I have challenges, I have problems. My father passed away and I'm on the rig, or even if I was in the funeral and I came back, still I'm thinking of my father. My son is sick. Any problem back home. So when you're working on the rig and your mind is not with you, is a big challenge in the oil and gas. Because a small mistake can make a disaster. So how can AI identify this? When AI realizes Ghassan very well, they know my efficiency of work. AI can identify if I am 1 second slower than usual. And it can raise an alarm that Ghassan is not performing as he used to be in the past. What happens, it raises an alarm to the manager. The manager calls Ghassan in and says, Ghassan, everything is fine. And if he says, look, maybe I'm having a cold and I'm sick a bit, so it affects my efficiency. Or I might say, look, I really have a challenge back home. So the manager can decide either don't do this critical activity, let someone else do it, or maybe go back home, sorting stuff, and then come back instead of getting hurt during the activity. This will be a real game changer that I think in AI. And if you look at this, is one of the major challenges we have today, where we investigate incidents and we realize employees are actually not in the right mindset to do the job because of a family situation back home. Now, as we said before, there is we move rigs around. You know, once you drill the well, and I'm talking about land rigs, once you finish the well, you bring a truck, you dismantle the whole rig, and it's like a building that you put in parts. You put it on trucks, and you transport. You're talking about more than 200 lifts. Today, we have around 5,000 lifts every month. We drive around 2.5 million kilometers every month because we move the rigs. 2.5 million, that means you can go to the moon and come back twice every month. And there is a lot of exposure for our employees. So what we do, we prohibit our drivers to drive at night. You're not allowed to drive at night because a lot of car accidents can happen. Now, if we assume the number of hours of day and the night are the same, equal hours, number of hours, that means my efficiency of movement is 50% because I'm not moving at night. Now, if I can use AI to help me, and this is what we're doing today, let's see if it works. Yeah, so this driver.
Please drive carefully.
So the driver used the phone.
Failure detected.
Automatically, AI realized that the driver used the phone and it created an alarm. It sent an alarm straight to the journey management center and as well the driver himself. Same thing if he's nodding or if he's yawning. So today we have this. AI is doing this today for us, and it helped us improve our efficiency of driving. But what is next that can help us as well even further to make sure? Because I can double my revenue if I can drive at night as well with the same amount of capex that I have today. I don't have to buy more trucks. I don't have to buy more cranes. It's just I double my efficiency just by driving at night. And I don't have to increase crews, nothing. I don't have to do any extra spend. The only extra spend I have is the camera on the truck. So these are different examples that we've been working on, and it's kind of new for the drilling space, and where we want AI companies to come forward to see if they can help us on this. So if you look at historically, what happened is, in the 60s to the 80s, we've seen a lot of incidents. So what happened, engineering played a big role. They changed the design, making it from heavier to lighter, so things have improved. But what you can see with time, the incident rate have plateaued. But then we started to look at HSE training, HSE policies, and as well we've seen the incident rate as well drop, but still plateaued. Today, with AI, what we're using, we're impacting the human factor and seeing how we can improve. And we believe it will go down, but it will plateau. But I think if we add AI to the whole equation, we believe we can achieve Arabian Drilling target is to have 0 incident, where we see incident rate should be even going even lower. So what is this for you as an AI company? If we look at only the rig business, globally there is 1,813 rigs at the global level. If any of the companies have the right solution, the right AI solution that can impact my efficiency, this is the market that you can target. Because safety is in the top priority of any oil and gas company. I hope I covered something that made sense. I gave you a bit of video, so you're qualified to be a driller. So if you want to apply to be a driller, you can come to me at the end and you can apply. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.